man. Hi,
Thank you.
Tobias. How are you, man?
I'm good. I'm good. All good. Springtime and ready to go on tour.
That time of the year, I'm sure you get it like it's like, like in bloom. It's that time, it's tour time, and you get antsy, right?
Yeah. I mean, but nowadays, since we this whole tour cycle has been pretty sort of broken up in a way that we usually don't do things. Over the last 13 years, it's been 6 weeks tour, be home for 2 weeks, 6 weeks tour, be home for 2 weeks, and then you just go on like that. Whereas now it's been months and months and months in between tours, a little bit more like grown-up touring, which is good for sanity, but it also means that every time you are about to embark on a new tour, it feels like a bigger project. It's a
Is
good thing.
this
We start in a few weeks and gonna end on October, so it's a good hefty trek.
the Re-Imperator is worldwide? I know you guys are all over this year. I mean, to Cali, to Australia, and back and beyond. And well, the world needs more ghosts, so that's what they'll get, right?
Absolutely, and this is the first time we really uh, do a tour where we basically bring the same show everywhere. Back when we toured both South America and Australia last time, we were part of festival package, and if we did a show, it was like our headlining show was definitely like an underplay or a side show, and all those things that for someone who's antsy to do production, that was kind of annoying because you wanted to present the big version of your show, and we've never really done that in neither of those countries, so it's or the neither part of the world. Whereas America, obviously, you've seen us a few times, and that's been our growing ground, our proving ground, where we've gotten a lot of the mileage. You better come out to one of the shows this summer then.
So stoked, especially that you have a handful of new covers that you'll bring on the road. Of course, the big news here since the Easter revelation is Phantomime, our the new EP album that we'll get our hands on May 18th, right?
Yeah, yes, yeah, it's coming out just before the European tour starts, and yeah, May 18th. Yeah, that's a difference between last time we toured in America, which was last fall, and this one. Um, yeah, I don't know what what more to say about that.
Well, I'm just excited because I haven't gotten Jesus He Knows Me out of my head yet. I just wanted to know what goes into recording something that isn't yours. Like, do you call Phil Collins up? How do you even get a hold of the guy? Like, what goes into the process of selecting and recording a cover?
You don't really have to do anything in terms of getting like a clearance. I know that, I mean, as long as you don't change anything, because and basically when you're talking about changing things, it's just lyrically. One example of how that works would years ago, Tori Amos did a covers album, and she did a Slayer cover, and I'm going to say that within quotes because essentially what it was just sort of background noise and her reciting the lyrics for Raining Blood, which that's how covers work. I can compose a completely different track and then whisper any like Love Me Tender over it, and all of a sudden it's a Elvis Presley cover. And not even that. I mean, who wrote "Love Me Tender"? I don't remember that off the top of my head. So it's a really really weird thing where everything has to do with just author and just attribute who gets the money. And but when you change anything, that's when you have to get like a permission slip. So for example, we recorded Phantom of the Opera, which is an Iron Maiden song. In this case, it's not the song from the musical. And upon working on the track, I noticed that the lyrics were written in a, for me at least, slightly confusing way, where it was like three perspectives. It was from the Phantom perspective. It was from Christine, the protagonist, perspective, and then was third persons. And that was a little confusing. It was a little, you couldn't really hear that on the original because it's kind of, he sort of mumbles the lyrics, but the way that I wanted it to sound, you were going to hear the lyrics more clear. So basically, I asked Steve Harris, who wrote the song, if I could have the permission to fine tune a few things, which luckily I got the thumbs up for. But that's definitely the thing that you need to do. If you're changing anything, that's when you need to call someone up. And I had an idea that I wanted to change something for Jesus He Knows Me, and that was on the to-do list to try to reach out to Phil and ask for his permission. But we actually never got the time. He's not, for me, he's not as close as Steve is. You always know someone who knows someone, and you can always go through the labels and all that stuff, but it just felt like one of those. And I heard he was not doing well as well. It was just too big of a deal. So I ended up not changing that, and I didn't entertain that longer than just in my head. But that's basically the rundown.
What about when artists cover Ghost? I just saw James Hetfield's version of Cerise, and I just figured, like, metal nerd in you probably freaked out about that.
No, what I feel about that, or what?
Yeah, I mean, I know you contributed to the Blacklist album during the pandemic. Your cover of Ghost cover of Enter Sandman, and then to hear that again with Cerise, how does that feel?
Oh, I mean, awesome, of course.
Papa Head is a fan of Papa, so that's kind of cool.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean that I guess that's the ultimate sort of circle. Hetfield, everything he's done basically, as he was a very early influence for me and keeps on being one, and going from like a childhood hero to now a mentor and a friend and a colleague, if you will, and then having that sort of received back in terms of in form of that flattery is amazing. Of course, that's that humbles you. I'm
so thrilled to hear the rest. There's 5 covers in all on Phantomime, due out May 18th. The tour to go with it, the Re-Imperator tour. So stoked. You guys will be in the Midwest, not Minneapolis, but Milwaukee and Chicago. And I hope to see you guys sooner than later. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me, Tobias. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. It was nice and short and sweet. Thank you.
All right. Have yourself a good day, man.